things like this make you stressed at all? Okay, good.
If I make a fool of myself, too bad.
Yeah, I'm
That
glad.
bothers me.
Yeah. I get nervous for a minute when I'm standing.
Exactly. There's a little bit of tightness in the tummy, but it's not a big issue.
He's on vacation, isn't
Yeah. What's the cute one? C is for Corvette.
Not quite Big Ben, but I gave it a try. Welcome to downtown. Now, have your lunch break. Go to the buffet for those who do not yet know about the buffet. It's on the entrance, so please go and get the buffet and then come and sit down. And I think we have Imagine going to play. Is that right? Shortly. Okay, 12, 12. Yeah, I have. Yeah, and started. Go and get your buffet. Sit down and eat for another few minutes, and then we'll actually start the program. Thanks.
Bill,
It's on the.
you might. Yeah.
Second bell rings, pledge and song.
I'm not exactly sure what's happened to the Imagine video, but I didn't see it. Maybe I blinked and missed it. Can you hear me, everybody? Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You can. You can't. Yeah, okay, good. I'll shout louder. All right, fine. So it's almost 12:15. We've got our meals. Those who haven't, please rush out and get them now. I'm leading it, and I am never fearful of making a fool of myself. So, just smile if it all goes wrong. Go for it. Pledge and song. I'm going to invite Leroy Godfrey up. He's been with us since the end of June. He's in the food industry at Fleming's Prime Steakhouse. Go for it, Leroy.
Thank you, President. Thank you. Where's the flag? Okay. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You're joking.
Really?
You are a musician.
All right, ready? Okay, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you.
You know, I remember in this club when we actually had opera singers here on stage, and it was wonderful. Anyway, thanks, Leroy. It's good to see you. Um, I'm going to respectfully ask all of you to put down your knives and forks. We've got a moment or two or more of silence, please. This is particularly dear to my heart. Jan Green's wife, Wendy, passed away on Sunday. Yeah, a moan, a collective groan. She suffered a stroke, was put into hospice and passed away. Actually on the Sunday. Now please, cards are circulating. It's particularly dear to my heart because Wendy and I are reading and literary buddies, and we'd always be exchanging titles of books and reading and discussing, so I'm devastated. Let's have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. I'm always disheartened when people cut the moments or the minutes of silence short, so I hope you didn't think it went too long, but it was well deserved. Our best wishes to Jan. There is a card circulating, so please, please, please. Right. And also we have get well wishes for Irene Decker, who's battling health issues, and again, cards are going around to sign. Now you'll note at our table today we've got a wonderful raft of people. We've got me, Bobby, Joni, Lee, Jeff and Don. With birthdays today, we're celebrating our Stu Goldman, Emery Barker and Jim Engel. So we've got not only sadnesses today but also pleasantries to attend to as well. So that's good. Having mentioned Jan and Irene, we're now going on to the inspiration, and that's Joe Danishevsky. Sorry, I can say it every other time. But do understand, everybody, anybody on the dais loses 10 IQ points. I lost 20.
Thank you, Margaret. Joe D works really well. Let's hear it for Joe D. Yeah. Well, many of us are inspired by positive quotes, and I'm going to share some of my favorites. When you're riding a dead horse, the best strategy is to get off it. And that's from old Dakota tribal wisdom. You can catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. Proverbs. Don't cross the bridge until you come to it. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Work harder on yourself than your job. Jim Rohn. Fear knocked at the door. Faith answered. There was no one there. Fear knocked at the door. Faith answered. There was no one there. Martin Luther King. More quotes from my favorite baseball catcher of all time. The future ain't what it used to be. When you come to a fork in the road, take it. It's deja vu all over again. And my all-time favorite, always go to other people's funerals, otherwise they won't come to yours. Thanks again, Margaret.
Levity is wonderful. Joe D, thank you very, very much. Okay, now we have the introduction of guests, and that's Chris, who's raring to go, so please come on, Chris, who's been with us for almost 3 years now.
Yes, yes indeed. So I'll call out your name, and please stand or wave so we can say hello to you. And we have a lot of guests with us today, so this is exciting. So, all the way from Gresham, Oregon, fellow Rotarian, say hello to Becky Bennett. Hi, Becky. And guest of Jim Davenport, say hello to Jan Davenport. Hi, Jan. Guest of Steve Pickering. Say hello to Ann Pickering. Hi, Ann. Guest of Tom Campbell. Say hello to Anthony Jaros. Hi, Anthony. Guest of Gary Hirsch. Say hello to Nick Johnson. Hi, Nick. Guest of Sarah Aarons. Say hello to Janet Thuringer. Hi, Janet. Guest of Alan Rogers. Say hello to Tom Finkelstein. Hi, Tom. All right, we have a bunch of JTED folks here with us today, and we're so happy to have you here. So I'm just going to name you out individually because you're all important to us. So say hello to Kathy Prather. Hi, Kathy. And hello to Alex Jacome. Hi, Alex. I lost my 10 IQ points, Alex. Oh, say hello to Bryce Mana. Hi, Bryce. And we got more. Say hello to Greg Deanna. Hi, Greg. And another family member of JTED, Lynn Struthers Pete. Hi, Lynn. And from the Gregory School, say hello to Julie Sherrill. Hi, Julie. And from AZ Lotus, say hello to Debbie Wagner. Hi, Debbie's over there. Hi, Debbie. And from the Drive Tucson, say hello to Dave Slavin. Dave's over there. Hello, Dave. And guest of Steve Pickering, Steve Lingenbrink. Hi, Steve. And that is all I have. All right. Thank you to all your guests. Welcome to the Tucson Rotary Club.
I hope all guests will consider joining us in time because we're a great group of people. Now, it's the program, and really it's what we've all been waiting for since last October. So I'm going to invite Joni Condit to speak and do the necessary introductions. So please, Joni, this is exciting.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today, I have the great honor to introduce our amazing 2022 Car Show Chair, Bobby Larson. While he needs no introduction to this club because he is a good friend of all, I just want to take a minute to acknowledge him. We are also very fortunate that Bobby agreed to be last year's chair. It's not that any of us who are asked don't take it with trepidation, but it is one of the greatest things that you can ever have the honor to do. So I think we need to take a couple minutes to recognize Bobby's special gifts and his leadership style that helped to make this past year a success. Last year's Sweet 16 chair is just a first-class human being. I know that you will all agree. He's a people person, and he cares about others and for others. His career began in developing and coaching young people and eventually evolved into caring for and protecting the well-being of older adults at assisted living organizations that he owns. We all said here, we're the senior living group up here. Bobby is a boots-on-the-ground kind of leader. Since joining our club in 2009, he has served in many capacities. He was an effective sergeant-at-arms and has volunteered for so many different car show jobs over the years, and he served on our foundation board. Bobby is a very resourceful guy. Years ago when coaching, he designed a special bat for training baseball players. So he has shared his willingness to consider new ideas to continue to improve the Tucson Classics Car Show this past year. Bobby's a humble leader, and he allows others to contribute and shine. And given his sports management background, he understands what makes a team gel so that they can get great results. So we're all about to hear about those great results. So please help me welcome your 2022 Car Show Chair.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Couple couple things I wanted to say first, just because I want to make sure I get everybody covered. So first of all, I'd like to thank all of you that did anything for the car show at all. And so if I missed you, I really sincerely apologize. But you've all been thanked. J-Ted will give you your check now, and let's get out of here. Okay? What I'd like to do, too, is also remind you, if you'd sign the banner in the back of the room. That's the 2022 banner. So that would be great of you. And while we're at it, I think it'd be nice to introduce all the guests that we're doing this for. So I would like to introduce, if you'd please stand up and stay up, Kathy Prather, who's our Woman of the Year in Tucson, by the way, if you didn't know. We only bring the top people in as our guests. Alex Hakami. And then Bryce and Greg, if you'd please stand. And next, Julie, if you'd please stand. Julie Sherrill from the Gregory School, who allows us to be at our beautiful campus. And I would like to throw in two other guests because I didn't know they were going to be here, but it's great. Debbie and Dave, if you would please stand up. These were folks that helped us in the media side of things with Mary Martin and Cindy. Thank you very, very, very much. Now you can sit back and relax. So first I wanted to thank a couple of people right off the bat. Tracy, my lovely wife, she put up with me during this last year. Which was at times, I'm sure, quite a bit for her. Dorena and Carrie, always helpful, gracious, a smile on your faces, doing so much for us. So thank you very, very much. I did want to throw out there, I love this picture of the car show, that drone that took it. It just kind of gives you an idea of what an effort it is. Getting 420 cars out there, because that's what really, brings the people. So, but I did want to let you know too, because it's not all, not everything is perfect when you're doing something like this over a year. We had some hurdles to overcome. Inflation, I'm sure none of you have heard of that, but that is something that was big to us. We had a lot of higher costs than we would normally have. We lost a beer distributor. But Jim Wood and Curtis did a great job getting us set up, and I don't think anybody with a beer in their hand had any problems at the show. So that really worked out great. We lost a few volunteers later, but some people really stepped up, which was great. We also lost a grand marshal 3 days before the show. So that was kind of interesting. And Chuck will attest to it. He was right next to me when I got the text on a Wednesday morning. I'm like, what? And but it all worked out. We ended up with a great grand marshal who did a great job, and I really felt great about it. If I don't mention this to you again, if you saw Bert Lopez at the show in the rain, in the middle of the chaos, he was having more fun. We got some great pictures. Candy got some great pictures. Chris Mooney, Dave Lovett of him, and he was really having a good time. And it was like, I really felt like he was probably feeling like he was more in the club than he'd ever been. So that was great. And then of course the rain. And for those of you, I've had a few people ask me already today. It rained at 10:30, it rained at 12:30, and then it really rained at 3:15. And so that's when I congratulate so much the drivers of the cars and the people walking out, because when I announced, get the heck out of here because the lightning storm's coming, they did it, and we didn't have one accident. We didn't get anybody hit, so it was really well done by those people. So wanted to cover that very quickly. Next, if you guys would. The reason we do this, why we put in all this extra effort. Is there some? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. The first check we get to give out. If you come up, Julie. Well, I'm going to hand it. I guess, if you'd help, that'd be great. Julie, get in the middle right behind.
Okay. All right.
Photographer's coming up. Who's the photographer?
I know we got.
Okay.
And Julie Sherrill, she is the headmaster at the Gregory School. And for those of you who don't know, not only do we put thousands of dollars into the field to make it look as good as it does, but we also give a $10,000 scholarship. And I know Julie wants to say a couple things about that.
Thank you, Bobby. Clearly, that picture was taken several years ago. But the important thing is that you persevere and you're still standing, right? And so I am so grateful for this 17-year affiliation with the Rotary Club of Tucson. You all are amazing. And time again, I say to our students, watch. Let these individuals model for you the kind of volunteerism, camaraderie, of course, the Rotary pledges, and the incredible teamwork and logistical preparation that you do at every year's car show. You just are a wonder to watch. In that vein, we were so grateful to receive enough money to put towards a student scholarship. And so when selecting the scholar, we wanted it to be a student that reflected the values of Rotary. I'm very pleased to say that our first Rotary scholar graduated in May, is having a wonderful time at the University of Redlands in Southern California. She is a child that was born and raised in Kenya, Africa. She was adopted by a family who was connected to the Gregory School. And thanks to you, Lucy Wangichi has had a really positive trajectory in her life and is doing a wonderful job at the university. So pat yourselves on the back for helping that amazing student. And last but not least, I want to assure you that you are affiliated as well. You know, it's all about, I was told by a wise trustee in my first year as head of school, it's all about alignment, Julie. Everything that you do with your organization, with your team, it's aligning your resources to meet your mission. And so I'm proud to say to you that the Gregory School is now overflowing with students. We don't have enough room for seats for the first time since I have been as head of school. We just were selected. We were one of only 3 schools in the country that was just awarded an E.E. Ford Leadership Grant. And if you receive Biz Tucson, you'll see that we have a supplement in there that talks a little bit about what that E.E. Ford Foundation Leadership Grant is. And we are in the process of selecting our next Rotary Scholar, and we are basing that selection in matching the character of that young person with the amazing character that each of you demonstrates every year. So thank you very much.
Great job, Julie. Thank you very much for those words and letting us know who our first scholar was. That was great. Okay, if you move on. Oh, gosh, I'm not used to doing this. Sorry. Okay, this is why we do it. This is why we put a full year of work in, put in all this effort. These are all pictures of the medical school that's under the tutelage of Beth Francis, who's an old, not old, geez, what a horrible thing to say. Beth and I used to teach together years ago. A colleague, correct. So she's over this area of the school, and that medical thing, the medical portion of it will then be that next part of the school that is built. So wanted to make sure you saw that, and they have a lot of innovative things. If you get a chance, go by and see J-TED and see if you can see some of the equipment they have, because it's really cutting edge. Then next, this is kind of what we thought we might be able to come up with. That was our goal. I really talk about pulling it out of the hat. Really had no idea. Just thought, yeah, we can probably do that, right? If they could do is what they did last year for the Centennial. So we started there, and I'm sorry. And I wanted to just quickly throw in here that it takes a lot of people to get to that number. And obviously, the people that did that get everybody off to a kickstart, is our dedicated year-round executive team, and they are awesome. If any of you don't know any of these people, please meet them because you will enjoy it. They'll enjoy it. Fortunately, I didn't have to be the president of the very first year because most of these people were involved in the club that first year, and I can't imagine putting this whole thing together. 420 classic cars, a full facility, there's 9 revenue streams that go on at the car show, so there's so much going on. So I just kind of tried to turn them loose but kind of herd them at the same time, because if you know those folks, they're all leaders themselves, so sometimes it's not easy to keep them right where they're supposed to go. But yeah, please give them a huge hand, please. Okay. We met every month for 10 months, and something was changing every time, and they would just take note of that, and there were so many great ideas, and we just worked it through with their knowledge. Their knowledge is incredible. So that's the executive team. It's also known as the SLT, Strategic Leadership Team, if you know that one from John Wong's days. And so SLT, but they're the folks that really make the thing start, and that's every year. Okay. Now, Now this is the Tucson Classic Car Show organizational chart. I did not see this before I accepted the position. Once I saw it, I kind of freaked out, to tell you the truth. It's also called the TLT, Tactical Leadership Team. But those folks meet 3 times, so starting the end of the spring, meet 3 times over at Truly Nolan at Bruce Richardson's place, which is great of them to have for us. And basically we go through and it's explaining responsibilities, needs, and help where it's needed. So we're going to each other. And again, there's so much leadership that's already in the club that really helps, and they are phenomenal. So I wanted to go through quickly, and I will, I promise. Go through very quickly. On the top left corner, that's the executive committee. So those are the top people to make the whole thing run. Show chair, I wanted to put in there car insurance. Wayne Meyer came to my rescue because he was helping with certificates and certifications for other things, permits, and so he helped with the car insurance. And David Lovett, huge help. Thank you very, very much. On here is legal counsel. You usually don't see legal counsel having to do anything in the car show, at least I was told that. But Emery Barker stepped up because we had a little bit of an issue about 3/4 of the way through the pre-show and took care of it totally quickly. It was great. Always Jim Murphy, always there to help. Mike Anderson, he has a little bit to do with getting the raffle car, so you know that. And then the executive secretary, that's Mary Ann, and she's mom, and she's the best. So please give that group a little hand. Under Mary Ann's guidance, then she's got the awards. Angela Bowerly did a great job. Again, Wayne. Joe DeChatelet, she actually 1 week before the show fell and broke a rib and something else, so she was not able to do this. So Jim Lubinsky stepped in for her, which was great. And special awards, David Pashkow, even though he's had some health issues last year, he stepped in and still was able to do what needed to be done there. Peter Behan in finance, if any of you know Peter, he's on top of that cold. So I leaned on him a great deal, and then last week is when we found out the number. And I meant to say this at the beginning too. I don't want you to get too excited about the number, because getting to where last year's number, that's just not going to happen with a centennial. Those folks did a great job, but with that and with the dinner and with everything, that all the ramp up of the centennial, so just chill a little bit. Okay. Then we've got car recruitment. That's huge on Candy Vactor. We have 420 cars again this year. The rain, which you know I was going to bring that up sometime in this talk, did come, and so we probably had, I think, 10% less, but not too bad. I mean, she said that's almost normal for a normal show, and for all those car guys, that car is their baby, especially the ones that are convertibles. They were great, and actually the pictures that I got to see that I got to see from David and Chris and Candy, most of the people in the rain were all smiling as they were walking and running out of there, which was really pretty remarkable, because if I owned one of those cars, I don't think I'd have been smiling a whole lot, but they did a great job. Also huge is Arnie Jacobson. I mean, what he does. Car registrants, Sharon Felton, and then Drew, of course. Drew does a ton too. I know Candy's kind of the one that's out there all the time and doing so much, but Drew does a ton, and he helped out a lot with that also. And then the entrance fulfillment, if any of you are in the car show next year, really interested in getting involved too, they have a entrant fulfillment party at Candy and Drew's, which is a blast. First time I went, it was really fun. Then over on the marketing side, really gets down to Cindy and Mary. You guys are fantastic. People wouldn't even know about the show without you guys, and it's amazing how everybody knows the show now. Now, occasionally they think it's the Gregory School show, but you know, we let them know that. Yeah. You can pay us for that, Julie. But Matt Blair does a great job. He got the orders, got the stuff back out. But then Mary, especially, and Cindy, just phenomenal. Rick Rose with video. John Wong helping with the T-shirt design, handling all that. And then Candy, again, Candy. You're going to kind of hear her name come up a couple times. And with the website. This year, we switched over now to Webmo from the Mad Media days, and it really went very smoothly, and I know it's really in good shape now for Lee's year. So I feel good about that. The revenue generating section of the ticket sales, tracking, I mean, and we'll get back more into this a little bit, but Jeannie Zita with tickets, unbelievable, everything she does. Yeah, she should get a huge hand. And Roger's kind of her right-hand man on that, but they are great together. Classic Club sales tickets. I know that, Steve, you're in charge of the Classics Club, but you got Daryl Stewart who does the tickets and other things to help. So you guys are great with that, and thank you, Daryl. Events, Dave White, another big hand. If people would give Dave White a hand. He's over all of our event sales, which is huge. A huge thing, gets bigger, seems like every year. I don't know why, but it just does. And then the online sales, and then sponsorships. That was a big thing that we took on this year. It was the first year we had gotten close to the money that we did for that, but that's what really helped, I think, helped the big number for JTED. And administration, Luda is huge. Bruce Tunzi helps with corporate and auto renewals. Robert O'Brien, Mary Martin again with media. Raffle prizes, Jim Murphy. The Friday night dinner, Bruce Jacobs. If you see the pictures that David and Chris and Candy did, I think Bruce just hung around with a camera. His pictures are everywhere in that stuff. And then that's pretty much handling that area. And then the site prep, really, it's probably going to be easiest just to say site prep is Chuck Sawyer and all of his team, John Harned, I mean, John Harlow, there's just tons of people here. But they all did a fabulous job. And that kind of starts up at the beginning of the year. So I know that we spent a lot of money to try to get that grass as pretty as it was. And so that's that. Past chairs at the bottom, and then day of operations. I'd like to have a hand for Rob Lamasker, because day of operations, that's really his deal. Okay, so we got through that. I got a little long-winded, I apologize. That's the tactical leadership team, so there's 63 people. Then on the sponsors, I wanted to get to the donations and sponsors. Donations, we got over $30,000 this year. It was really fun for me. I got Conrad Plimpton to do a matching, which was great. I asked him for an amount of money, and he says, I'll do this if you can match it. So we got the club to match it. So a bunch of us helped. We had 27 different Rotarians that matched his portion. So that was great. And then other people that did for the donated. Mike Hartley, a friend of mine from Chicago, he knew how much it meant to me, and so he did a nice job. And on the donations, those people don't get anything except the satisfaction that they're really helping something out. So that's what those folks do. Now, the next ones are the sponsors. Now, they get like classic club tickets, and they get some other day of show tickets and some other little things like that. But the sponsors were what we really blew up this year. We went from, I don't know what it was last year, but it was probably, I think it was around 40 to 50,000. We got 171,000. So that was great. And Mike is number one up there because he's the title sponsor. So his title sponsorship is $20,000. So Mike probably thought, okay, I put in 20 grand, okay, I'm done. No, then I got to go get the car. Then he thought, oh, then I'm surely done, right? But then you'll see later the person that won the car was very kind of her. She's like, do you think a 70-year-old woman should be driving a Corvette convertible? And and if you'd have seen her, she'd have looked smooth in it, let me tell you. But she didn't want to have the car. She didn't want to deal with it. So she took the $40,000, and then Mike resold the car, which also helped the bottom line because then we got that difference. So thank you again, Mike, very much for that. He must really owe you, huh? Okay, so on the sponsorships, again, we had 71 sponsors this year. We had 10 sponsors of $5,000 or $5,000 or more. The titles of those are the title sponsor, the Friend of J. Ted, Premier, Major, and Key. They will all be invited to a meal in the next couple months because we said we would do that to the top 10 sponsors. But just so you know, Mike is We Buy Houses. Faye and Eric, their company is They're Generous. So you can tell them that's the quote around there. They are generous. Pat Zumbush, Wellspring Financial, Joni, La Posada, myself, The Villas, and Bert Lopez, HSL Properties, Deborah Shepard, Banner, Peter and Luda, Beach Fleshman, Denise and Kristen from Realty Executives, and Paige from Goldberg and Osborne. All those gave at least $5,000. Then we also had 21 contributing sponsors, which is $1,500 each, and we had 31 row sponsors, which is $550 each. So that's kind of how we came up with that big number. We also had prize folks that gave prizes: Sam Levitz, Ashley, Home Furnishings, Tucson Appliance, Jack Furrier Auto and Tire, The Specialists, and Cartridge World. Thank you all very, very much. We also had in-kind folks. We had 19 different in-kind companies that gave of their business that could help the show. So that was great. And from the club, those in-kind people: Rick Rose, Tom McKeon, Bruce Richardson, Jim Lubinsky, Arnie Jacobson, Chris Mooney, Kathleen Wicks, and Matt Blair. And then getting quickly to the tickets again, Jeannie, amazing job. She's the one that kept us informed what's going on all the time on our thermostat, as well as who's hitting certain numbers, kind of to promote sales. She had help, again, from Roger and from Art Alice, Nancy Bevins, and Pat Patton. We did make our $30,000 ticket goal, which was huge. That includes donations, so I just want everybody to understand that for the future, too. If you donate where you don't get any other sponsor perks, well, then you can write the whole thing off. But it also counts as tickets. So just so you know, that's kind of how donations work. And then what I was going to say is there's our beautiful car. Not a better picture than right there. I love that. And the $10 raffle ticket made no difference. We still sold more than we sold tickets in 2019 before COVID. Then you've got, well, there's Candy. Candy with her field right there. That's just one of the dozen or so jobs she does. There's thank you again to Cindy and Mary. There's Tom Strasberg and Chuck. They called in a couple of people that are grass people, and I don't mean cannabis, I mean grass people. and they had the field just looking gorgeous. Then what I was going to say was, then it gets to be time to relax a little bit. And Friday night, that's our Friday night dinner that Bruce was in charge of. But again, Arnie makes that happen with their great food. It was a really nice night. People could just talk and get to see each other since we didn't do the auction this year. And then what I was going to say was, how do we get people to buy tickets? We have an amazing car, history of a great show, and incredible cars. And there's the 420 cars that Candy and the crew that gets out. We were sold out 10 weeks in advance. We couldn't take any more cars. How do people find out about the show? Well, that's the media, and that's the social media of Cindy and Mary. And we had 14 media sponsors, so thank you very much. And how do we keep the car owners happy and coming back year after year? It's seeing that great facility, beautiful grass, and Candy and Drew and their team. And then finally, the day of show, Rob LeMaster's in charge, like I told you, ticket sales, slotting, food, drink, Classics Club, all the field, great help. And right here's where I wanted to definitely give thank yous to, and if you please stand up for this, any of you newbies that are here, and here's the list of newbies. These are people within the last year that have joined the club that did an amazing job. Brandy Haga Blackman. I think I saw Brandy, right? Britt Battle, Sandra Johnson, Raymond Smith, Deborah Shepard, and Kristen Mamana, as well as Elizabeth Bollinger. All those are new people within the first year. And there were other people in their first year that did work. It was just that those people really stood out and got a lot done. And probably my favorite, because we kind of had another little hurdle that Dot would remember, the Friday night dinner. Generators were going out, didn't have power. Michael Manny stepped up, and he's brand new, and he did a great job for that. So thank you, Michael. How much time? How much time? Okay. All right, and Classics Car Show. Okay, well, first you got Chris Dodge and Scott Vaughn up there. Scott's done this for years, and Chris is fantastic. So that's our front show there. The Sweet 16 special TCCS shirt. Diana Medeiros and John Wong worked together on that. Thought it really worked out well. The Classics Club. There's DJ John. Come on. He doesn't want to leave. There we go. The Classics Club, again, Steve Pickering's in charge of that. That was sold out this year too. And that was with, how many extra seats did we have, Steve, from the year before? So we had a ton of seats. And so that was wonderful. And no complaints at all about food. People love the food, the drinks. It's a great atmosphere in there. And we have Daryl Stewart off there to the right, hovering in the tent. And, okay, let me get here. The food court. We had 11 different food vendors there. They were cranking until that last storm at the very end. So we would have had quite a bit more money had that not occurred. And just wanted to also, again, Tim, I wanted to thank you so much, as well as Ben Hawkins and Michael, for what you guys did Friday night especially. Thank you. You tried. That's the best part, though. I'm almost done here. Wanted to also bring up that Arnie, Candy, Marianne, well, there's Jim Wood and Curtis with the drinks. But there's Arnie. Where'd they go? Arnie to the left, Marianne in the middle with Susan and Candy. Stepped up doing, they all do multiple jobs. That's why I wanted to bring them up to you all. And nobody knows the field better than Candy. But those people just did so much to make it just another huge success. Friday night, the delicious food. That's Arnie. Pallets of water that Arnie gives us. Infield layout that Arnie does. Arnie set up all the Corvairs and Bert's $3 million cars. Arnie does a lot. So please thank Arnie when you see him. I don't think he's here, but And he's the leader of the judges, so of the cars. First car show chair, right? And then finally, the volunteers. You know, that we didn't need very many of them. But just so you know, we had 520 volunteer jobs. That's 2,080 hours at 4 hours volunteer. So that's one full year of work from when we came in on Friday till we had everything torn down on Sunday. And I guess the IRS, Marcy told me this, they consider volunteer work $29 an hour. So $29 an hour, that's a $62,000 job just in those 2 days. JTED had 70 of the folks there for volunteers. Non-Rotary had 100. Rotary Club of Tucson filled 350 shifts. So it's amazing what you all did. So please give yourself a hand on that one. Okay, then we had hospitality, Sharon Felton. Again, thank you so much. And I've got a funny picture here I think you'll like. There's Sharon, Elizabeth Bollinger, and Diane Medeiros. There's the storm coming in. There's the crowd before the storm. There's Vic Jacobs and Dan Guerre. That's what it looks like when there's rain involved in a show. And to the right is what it looks like when there's not rain in a show. So just wanted you to see the difference there. Then we have our 3 winners. That's Bert Lopez's pick, the Grand Marshal. We have then the title sponsor award. That's Mike Anderson's BuyHouses.com winner. And then the best in show was Tom Mulligan with the Hupmobile Skylark. And there's Bert Lopez. The reason I picked that picture of Bert, there are a bunch of them really smiling big, but that ticket in his left hand is Nancy Davis's ticket that won the car. Okay. And that's Nancy Davis in the middle. There's Michelle, Michelle Murphy sold the ticket to Nancy, so she joined us for that. There's the car there, and my mug on the left. And there's the tickets that were sold, how it broke down. So you can see we had 17 people with between 250 and 1,000 tickets. That's great. There's the breakdown. We ended up with 100. It was 101%, 101.6% actually. So we did make it though, so that was great. We of course rounded up. Okay, and finally, it was a sweet year for our club and our community, and now we'd like to give away the check, 2022 total giveaway to JTED. If you would come up, Kathy and Matt, if you would come up. Come on. Okay, cool. Okay. So what I wanted to just mention is that, you know, net car show proceeds, few people told me 200,000 would be good, so it wasn't 200,000. I was hoping for the 230. It wasn't 230. Come on. This is really the hardest part of this talk. There we go. No. No. All right. All right. So we're really happy about making that number, but then somebody in the club thought of this. So Matt, if you would please present.
We're so close to 252,000. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to make it an even 252,000.
So here you go, guys.
Thank you.
Here, turn this way because I'm the official photographer. Yeah. Sorry, it's fine. What a photo bomb. And 3, 4, 5. Good job.
And to come to me. Thank you. This is the website one.
You're on.
I am speechless. That is amazing. Thank you. Thank you all, each and every one of you, for everything you have done over the last number of years. We were so excited to apply for the Centennial Grant, thanks to Dr. Wayne Pete, who brought the application to us, and Dr. Lynn Struthers Pete is here representing Wayne this afternoon. And then to be given the Centennial Grant, we were ecstatic and grateful. And then when you told us a year ago or so that we were going to be the 2022 recipient, it's like, oh my gosh. But everyone added, saying, well, it won't be as much as, the centennial year. It won't be as much. Don't be disappointed. It just won't be as much. But my goodness, oh my gosh. And I have said this to you before. You were the spark for so much that has happened at Pima JTED over the last few years. And I want you to give yourselves a hand, because you have made such a huge difference in the community and opportunities for young people by what you have done. So please clap for yourselves. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Pima JTED impacts the lives of young people, but it's also Economic Development 101, Workforce Development 101. We provide that foundation. And so the success of our young people in the community is the success and the well-being of our entire community. So I just want to thank each and every one of you. I'm so proud of our volunteers. Thank you, Bryce Mena, one of our principals, who coordinated our 70 volunteers and worked closely with Marcy Euler, and thank you to Steve Pickering and Dr. Wong, who sent notes to our students thanking them for their work and congratulating them on their volunteer work. It was really appreciated. And just thank you, each and every one of you, and we are so grateful, and you have truly made a difference in the lives of thousands of young people. Thank you. And now my boss, Alex Hakami, is going to say a couple words. Thanks.
I do everything she tells me to do. It's very easy. As one of the car guys out there, I went to the first car show, and I thought, gee, this would be a great place to showcase our kids' skills. Talked to Dr. Pete. I wish he was here, but his much better half is here, so please take our thank you to Dr. Pete. And said, we ought to do this. We ought to get involved with the car show. So that's where our involvement started, and it has been a real trip. But there's a few folks in here. My long-term memory is 15 minutes, so if I didn't mention your name, it's because I'm old and frail. But I really would like to thank it. First of all, I'd like to thank Drew Vactor. Where's Drew? Drew Vactor, stand up. I want to thank him for having excellent taste in picking a wife. Kathy. There would be no car show without Kathy. Candy, I'm sorry. This is Kathy. I'm beginning to sound like a certain president we have. But along the line, Larry Adamson, who's been very helpful with us and was able to arrange a nice grant. Of course, Bobby Larson for ramrodding this thing. Jim Murphy, Chuck Sawyer, Marcy Euler, Dr. Wong, John Wong, Mike Anderson, and there would be no car show without this guy either. Mike Anderson has done so much. You got a car yet this year, Mike?
It's out there. Out front to the one. It's out front.
Oh, well, we'll go take a look at it and see if I approve. Tom Strasberg, who has been promising to buy me a beer for 15 years, hasn't done it yet, and I'm going to amortize those over the 15 years. Let's see. Well, that's far enough. Jim Murphy, did I mention Jim Murphy? Mr. Murphy. So all of you guys have done a fabulous job. I was a Rotarian with 20 years of perfect attendance, so I'm very partial to the Rotary Club. My dad was a Rotarian. The Pioneer Hotel was the home of the Rotary Club in Arizona, and so I'm very partial, and I thank you all. You're the greatest bunch in the world. Thank you so much.
All right, Kathy, just take a look at this. Okay, there you've got that. Okay, there's your 252. That's what the 3-year total is. So 710,126 and 47 cents. And then the last thing should be, we pass this along to young Lee Olitsky. Come on, Lee, do you want to quickly? You know we have no time because Margaret's stomping at us.
Okay. Good afternoon. Bobby, don't sit down yet. Okay. Of course, we want to particularly recognize Bobby, and so as I don't screw it up too bad, I'd like to read what we prepared. On behalf of the Rotary Club of Tucson, we present to you this gift as in recognition of the outstanding effort you put forth to ensure a successful 16th annual Tucson Classics Car Show. I'm not done yet. Hold on first. Thanks. Your leadership and personal approach produced both a financially successful event and an amazing classics car show, sincerely. Our ability to support local charities continues because of the club members and your commitment to putting service above self, which resulted in JTED and the other charities receiving substantial grants. The car show provides a pleasant and comfortable family event for the entire Tucson community. This event would not have been of the quality that it was without Bobby Larson. Thank you for an awesome and masterful event, the Rotary Club of Tucson. Thanks. You have to open it though, sir. My pleasure. Just anything else, sir. No, what's up? It's in there. It may be easier on the floor.
What is it?
A fountain pen. Enjoy. It's beautiful. I find an orange one.
Thank you all. It was a pleasure working with all of you.
Just let me remove all his notes. Right, well, after that, I think we all need to take a deep breath and, be so grateful, absolutely. Now, as you all know, and I'm sure guests know as well, we always put a book into the library, the Make Way for Books library, and it's going to be signed by Bobby on the back of the book, and it's called C is for Car. It could have said C is for Corvette, but there we go, got a sign. Now, in true haste, we've got birthdays to go on now. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, the car show banner is at the back. Please go and sign it. I know you've been reminded, but, we'll keep on pushing that. We want as many signatures as possible. Happy birthday to... I feel like I'm going to burst into song. Okay, we've got 3 birthdays today. We've got Stu Goldman first. This is in order of what's on here, not the birth date. He's been with us... Well, he was born on January the 15th. He's been with us since February 1984. There's probably plenty we don't know about him, but this is what I've been ordered to say, and forgive me because I don't understand a word of it. In 1967, at the Ohio State University, Stu pitched his... At the Ohio State University, Stu pitched his intramural, slow-pitch softball team to victory over 143 other teams. his arms flailing, his stutter step, his semi-lob. Confounded even off-season OSU players. I require a translation, honestly.
Oh, another sitting ovation. I'm not worthy, apparently. There are so many reasons to belong to this downtown Tucson Rotary Club. Service to humanity, networking, building better friendships, our speakers bureau, our entertainment, our parties and activities, all worthy. However, I joined Rotary 39 years ago for another reason.
What was your reason for joining, Stu?
Well, funny you should ask. Well, because I'll make a clean breast of it. It was because I was convicted of a crime so heinous it was a choice of 40 years of solitary confinement or 40 years of probation with community service.
Well, what was your crime, Stu?
Well, first of all, I chose Rotary because it was convenient and indoors.
But what was your crime?
Well, you're asking a lot here. It was a little-known offense called petty puberty.
What the heck is petty puberty, Stu?
Well, frankly, it's the act of taking trained seals across state lines for immoral purposes. Okay. I don't mind your leaving. It's when you come after me. But at any rate, after this year, I will have burned off 3,000 community service lunch hours, followed by 6,000 Tums. And afterwards, I will be free, I will be clean, and I will continue my membership in Rotary for all the good and noble reasons. Thank you all for the memories, those which I can remember, and in advance for the memories to come.
Isn't he a wonder? We laugh every time he stands up.
Every time?
The next one is Emery Barker, whose birthday is January the 28th. He's been a member since September the 1st, 77, and he's with Mesh, Clark and Rothschild. Something we don't know about him. Listen closely. At one time, Emery was a card-carrying member of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. International, I think it means in America only, but I'm not going to quibble about that. The local 310, before Jimmy Hoffa was in charge. Emery, we are so glad you're here, not encased in concrete somewhere.
You can't say any jokes or do anything funny after Stu. He's taken all the laughter out of the room, but it's been my pleasure to be a member of this club for 46 years. I had the pleasure of being your president in 95, 96. This car show is unbelievable from its infancy with the triumvirate of Mike and John and Arnie and all the rest of the folks that put the first one on. It's now a well-oiled machine. So, Bobby, congratulations on an outstanding job. We're all reflecting in your glory. Thanks. Thank you.
You did notice that the gentleman to my right didn't give me any kind of check or anything, so we'll have a word with him in a few minutes. And the third birthday is Jim Engel, and he's not here on the stage for various reasons. Jim, where are you?
He's right over
I'm
there.
over
There
at the
we are,
kids'
brilliant.
table. They've demoted me to the kids' table over here, so I think I'm at Thanksgiving. So, yes. What else do you want?
Oh. Well, his birthday was January the 15th.
You're the president-elect.
What do I want? I want you to tell us a joke.
A joke? No, that's not good.
All right, tell us something nobody
Okay,
else knows about
I'll give you something that, since this is your part, I'll take your part, and something that you don't know about me. So this is fairly recent. And it includes somebody else up at the table. So this is, excuse me, this is a past homecoming this October, and it was at a party homecoming party at my sister-in-law's, and Bobby and Tracy Larson were there. And my sister was down for homecoming as well. She graduated in '62, and so they started talking, and one thing led to another, one thing led to another. And all of a sudden, we put together, here nearly 80 years later, that Bobby's parents, my parents, in World War II in Wilmington, Delaware, were stationed and neighbors across the street from each other. So here we are 80 years later, and guess who's my neighbor now in Tucson? Bobby Larson. Now, this all happened before either of us were born, but we both have older siblings, and we put this all together. So that's something that you just found out about me and found out about Bobby. So.
That's wonderful. I'm tempted to say it's a small world,
Okay.
isn't it? It's a very small world.
Okay, what do you want me to do next?
Sit down.
I'm on.
Okay.
My minute up.
Go.
Anyway.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. A check, please. Thank you. I will note that he's now given me a check, and I hope you can all see it. Yeah. The way.
Anyway, I just want to say thank you for this. Recognize my birthdays. This is my 5th year in the Tucson Rotary Club and my 25th year in Rotary altogether. And Ralph Phillips, my sponsor, he's been MIA for a long time. I guess I'll have to stop by the bicycle shop on the way home and see what he's doing. But Bobby, my mentor, like I said, my neighbor too, and appreciation. Here you go. I'll bring it up to you even.
Thank you so very, very much. Now you can sit down. Now I've got the money, I'm fine. All right. Now we stop laughing, Dot. It's now introduction of the new member, Jeff Hotchkiss. There you are. Yes, he's going to do the wonderful duties. He's been with us since the middle of 2019, and he's with the Boy Scouts of America. Okay, go for it.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey. It is a great day to introduce a new Rotarian. I think it's just outstanding, and we've kind of seen all the things this club does. Don, as it says up there, I think he's still pretty active as a CPA since he served as my treasurer. Retired from Deloitte, a partner, kind of ran all of Asia, and was based out of Singapore in his last assignment. He's currently an executive in residence at the Carey School of Business at that other university in the state of Arizona. There's a couple people in here. He's a board trustee for the Arizona Theater Company. He's been on the Catalina Council Boy Scout board, treasurer, and little did he know it when he interviewed me to take this job. In my mind, I was interviewing him to someday be our council president, which he now is. And this is pretty amazing because Don made it all the way to first class in scouting. Yeah, but he was the parent that took the kids to the joining night in Michigan when he was there and kind of got sucked in. He's been on multiple Philmont treks. He was the founding scoutmaster. You may not know that we have overseas units in the Boy Scouts America in Singapore, of a troop in Singapore, and he's run scout camps, week-long scout camps in Nepal, Mongolia, Chiang Mai, Thailand, I believe, and Camp Lawton, somewhere up here around Tucson. He and Mallory do have 3 adult Eagle Scout sons. He is a strategist. He's a change maker. He's been great to have on our board. And I will tell you also, from all his experience, he's also a guy to have with you on a hike since he's got CPR and wilderness first aid. I give you Don Rieger.
This is what I like about Jeff. He speaks highly. I mean, I don't have to do anything. Just say, yeah, that was right, Jeff. Okay. Anyway, I want to thank Jeff for sponsoring me. I want to thank Joe D., who ended up being my mentor, convincing me that I had to come to Rotary, and I kind of resisted until Jeff. I wasn't absent I was absent that day, and that's how I got to be president. So, careful about not showing up. But as I took on the board chair, I went, okay, I guess I got to do this. And also want to thank my mentor from my previous run through Rotary in Midland, Michigan. I lived in 5 different countries. I consider Michigan one of those assignments.
But here's a shout out to Ron Beacom, who's been my friend and mentor since that time. So when I think about scouting, I want to pick on Julie. She talked about alignment, and I think about if you want to get active, reactivate in Rotary. Club Runner is great. It keeps track of me. It popped up and says, "You've been 17 years." I'm like, "Holy crap! Was it that long ago?" They also did some other curio stuff, but it's the alignment between scouting and this club. There's a lot of it in terms of, we both start our meetings with Pledge of Allegiance. We both have a song. Usually the scouts are around campfires. We do this around Chris's piano normally, and I will say you're much better vocalists than the scouts generally are. So, but it's also we get to wear shirts, we get to go out and have fun. Scouts like to burn things and stuff like that. You guys like to drive cool cars, but there's a lot of alignment between the scout law and the four-way test, and it's all about community. It's about service. It's about fellowship. And certainly the alignment of scouting and Rotary, there's a lot of scouters and scout supporters. You know who you are in this room. And so it makes a lot of sense. And I can't help but look at, when we talk about community and service, we strive when we're trying to teach young people leadership, as you do here, fun with a purpose. And in scouting, the scouts don't really know what's happening until it's almost too late. It's like, oh, damn, I'm an eagle now. How'd that happen? Because along the way, they were having so much fun, they didn't realize they were building leadership skills. And what can you say about the car show? When I went to the STARS seminar, they said, well, why do you come back? Well, I said, I came back because it was a lot of fun. And guess what? I had a lot of fun at the car show. I got out of there, did my assignment before the rain was too bad. Thank you, Lee, for saying I can go. Okay. Anyway. Great. I'm already fined. Okay. Great start, Jeff.
Yeah.
On to the raffle.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I was wondering how I could possibly
Dorena
do
already
that.
picked the winning ticket. It is, I have it right here, 330-939. 330-939. I have $81 in my pocket if it's you. All right. It goes back to the pot. It was the two of spades. Unless you find it and you give it to me. 939. Was it you, Joe?
Jody! Way!
Take it away. All right. Announcements to you.
Woohoo! Yay! Right, now for those that have still got to talk, cut your speech in half. All right, including me. So, announcements. Banner, sign. Club Assembly, February the 1st at Westwood Look. Sign up, important. Slide? Yeah, okay, good. Me again, replacement social mixer at Noble Hops. Which Noble Hops? The Doubletree one, thank you. Sign up on the website. And then we've got 2 blue badges. Bruce Tunzi, where are you, Bruce? Ah, there you go. Michael Guyman is going to receive the blue badge. Yay.
Good afternoon. Michael Guyman, as most of you know, is the president and CEO of the Metro Tucson, or Tucson Metro Chamber of Commerce. And a lesser known fun fact about Michael is that he was the official scorer for the Tucson Padres AAA Baseball Club back in 2011 to 2013. Michael has completed, he's a corporate member, he's completed everything necessary to get his blue badge, so give me your red one back and I'll give you the blue one. Michael.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Bruce. I would like to thank my mentor, Bruce Tunzi. Awesome, awesome guy. It's been great to get to know you. I would like to thank my sponsors, Mark Irvin and Mitch Piesick, and kind of Curtis Dawson. I put him on the sheet, but kind of. There were a bunch of quotes that were spouted today. My favorite Yogi Berra quote is, "Nobody goes there anymore because it's so crowded." I'll let that sit. But there was another quote a very wise man once told me, and that is, "Be yourself, but be your best self." And that wise man is Mitch Piesick. He said that many times during our great coaching sessions. So thank you for that, Mitch. As I graduate from my red badge to my blue badge, I'm going to continue to be my best self and put my best service above my best self. Thank you.
When I first got to this country, I thought Yogi Berra was Yogi Bear. I did, honest. Anyway, here we go. We've now got Vicky Jacobs.
Hi. So it's my pleasure to give the blue badge to Lynette Wells today. Lynette, the fun fact about Lynette is she likes to play in the big sandbox over at, where is it? In the White Mountains, in the Yuma.
The sand dunes.
So she has a side-by-side that she goes with her husband and her grandkids. All right, and she has 2 grandkids, 3 sons, and her husband's name is Johnny. Alrighty, and she works for Ralph's Moving Company. She's done all the things to get her blue badge, and they have a 10% discount for Rotarians. Here's Lynette.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Blue's my favorite color. I just would like to thank you for letting me be a member, and I'm really excited. I'm always thinking about giving back and contributing to my community, and you guys are very busy. I realize that, and I appreciate that. And I know one thing that I'm taking back with being a new member is to get involved, stay involved, and just contribute. So I'm excited. Thank you.
Of course, I know we're a few minutes over time, but for $260,000, you don't mind it, do you? I'm sure not. Okay, so I want to thank all of you and the virtual guests for coming today, and we truly hope that you all enjoyed the meeting. Welcome to all of our guests. Hope you can become members. If you would like to donate to the scholarships, the cups are on the tables. Bruce's Miles for Memories forms are on the registration table. And remember to return your badges to the proper numbers on the badge board. To recap, happy birthday to Stu, Emery, and Jim. Welcome to the club. Don, congratulations on the blue badge, Michael and Lynette. And brilliant monies for the JTEDs and for Gregor. That's marvellous. Next week, do not forget the club assembly at Westwood Look. Please sign on the website. It is vital. And now, we're going to do a toast. Once you're all upstanding, here is my toast. It's composed of 3 portions. What do cars spread on their toast? Traffic jam! Money may not buy happiness, but I'd rather cry in a Jaguar than in a bus. And this is probably the most profound of them all. All those cars were once just a dream in somebody's head. To the car show. Meeting is over. Bye.